What's up, my friends? I'm going to bring you one technique and 5 body points for releasing stuck emotional energy today. If you know me, you know that I'm a huge fan of what's called emotional freedom technique, or tapping, which is a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy and acupressure points like acupuncture. In studies, EFT has been shown to reduce cortisol levels in the bloodstream by up to 24% in just 1 hour of implementing the technique. Now, in 2021, you may be saying, yes, but COVID, I don't want to touch my face, and that's perfect. And that's why I'm bringing you a technique called the 5 elements today, which incorporates body points. It is not clinical EFT, therefore it does not have the same research behind it, and yet I contend that it works just the same. So you may be asking, why am I bringing this to you? The World Health Organization estimates that up to 61% of deaths and up to 49% of the global disease burden are caused by chronic diseases. They define these chronic diseases as heart disease, stroke, metabolic syndrome, COPD, and obesity. I'll even add diabetes to their mix. The WHO also says that these conditions stem from long duration exposure to unhealthy diets and physical inactivity. The CDC states that heart disease and stroke cost the United States $214 billion each year. 25% of Americans are too overweight to join the military, and obesity accounts for $147 billion of our health spending every year. Type 2 diabetes accounts for $327 billion of our health spending every year. So what do we do about all this? 1, address your lifestyle factors. Address them through your 4 doctors. How you move, how you eat and drink, how you rest and sleep, how you think and how you breathe, and taking responsibility for your own happiness. Secondly, we address the mental and emotional aspect. If 66% of the pains and dysfunction in our body is mental and emotional in origin, then we should probably have a pretty reliable tool to deal with that, and that's why I'm bringing you this tool today. So what's the most common reason to giving in to poor diet, not exercising, and just not putting in the work to take care of our bodies? Well, I'm too tired. I'm too stressed. I'm feeling emotion, which our lifestyle actually solidifies those things and makes them more challenging. When we're under stress, it triggers a stress reaction, an alert reaction in the body, a fight or flight or freeze response, and that diverts blood flow away from our stomach and away from the thinking part of our brain. In fact, that part of our brain loses 80% of its blood flow, and they go here, so we can fight or run. That's not helpful if we're trying to respond appropriately in the situation, or if we're trying to digest our food. And so we make bad choices, and what we do eat just causes more inflammation in the body. When we're under stress and we have a feeling such as anxiety, for me, feels like cold, steely energy through my body and just no connection here, that triggers specific ways of thinking, ways of speaking, and ways of acting with our bodies. And with that, we give it an emotional label, such as anger, such as frustration, such as insecurity. And so emotions compel us to act. When we feel an emotion, unless we have the discipline to see it and to respond, we will go into preset ways of being, things of thinking, ways of speaking, ways of doing. And when we have patterns that are out of alignment with our values and the life that we want to live, the body that we want to live in, then this leads to dis-ease, imbalance in the body, the mind, our emotions, and our spirit. And there's a famous saying, as above, so below. As with the mind and the emotions, so with the body. And as with the body, so with the mind and the emotions. And so you can see how it would be important to both take care of the body and the mental and emotional aspect. At Holistic Strength, I address these things through lifestyle factors, and then through our perception of stress, through our emotional management, through intelligent energy management, and through practices of resilience, or overcoming the stress and building the confidence to overcome stress in the future and the ability to do it with ease. How we respond in any situation dictates the effect that any situation will have on our body, our mind, and our spirit, and how we actually transform that stress, whether it's into something destructive or something constructive. So whether you're experiencing imbalance in your body, your mind, your emotions, or your spirit, we start with the lifestyle factors, and then we move into the mental and emotional tools, which, let's be honest, let's use them both at the same time. As I've stated, emotional freedom technique combines cognitive behavioral therapy with acupressure points, tapping on what we call the Bong-Han channels, which were discovered in the 60s, which are actually the meridians, which we refer to in more esoteric traditions. And so there's a script that we use in emotional freedom technique, and it goes like this. Even if I blank, and in the blank you put what you're experiencing, even if I'm angry, even if I'm hurt, even if I'm scared, and then we wrap it up with, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. And so what we're doing is we're recognizing that there's dirt on the floor. And in order to clean the house, we have to recognize that the dirt's there. So we're saying, even though I'm experiencing this dirt, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. We are unconditionally accepting and loving ourselves. Human beings are comprised of 5 elements in this system: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And finding balance in all 5 of your elements leads us to a happy and healthy life in body, mind, and spirit. Fire rages, and so when your fire is out of balance, you are likely to feel rage and anger. And what do we do when we feel that? We can switch. This technique uses the meridian point on the outside of your hand. We also switch sides, syncing up the right and left brain hemisphere, and if we even close our eyes and look upwards, we spark alpha brainwave production, pulling us out of stress and into our full potential of cognitive ability. And so we can say something like, even though I'm angry, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I'm pissed off, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. And even though I'm irritated at this person, taking a breath, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. Element number 2 is the earth element. When our earth element is out of balance, we feel inadequate, we feel helpless, and we feel that we have low personal power and willpower. And so to bring the earth element back into balance, we can tap on that mid rib cage point right here. Both of them are great. You can do bam, bam, bam. Both of them are fantastic. And we can say, even though I feel that I'm helpless in this situation, notice that I stated the exact thing that I'm experiencing. I love and accept myself deeply and completely. And we could even put them together. Bam, bam, bam. 7 is the classic number for the minimum with emotional freedom technique points. And then we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bam. 2 points done. Moving on to the next element, the metal element. Do you bend or do you break? Are you bamboo or are you rigid like steel? Are you holding on to the past old forms that no longer serve you, or are you able to let them go and create space for something new? Metal, when heated, can be molded into any form that we desire. And so if we're able to heat our metal element, we can melt this rigidity and form it into anything that we want. We can let go of what we've been holding on to and create the space to experience something new. And so the metal element, our point is the thumbs. We can hold those thumbs out in front and tap them back and forth. Matchsticks, we can even breathe and shake and bounce while we do this one. And putting them together, we would go fire, earth, metal, and on to water. When we perceive danger, fear can release in our bodies like a flood that can wash away and overtake everything, especially through anxiety. And you feel this when you lose that blood flow to your thinking part of your brain, and you start to say things that you're like, I shouldn't have said that. That is that water element being out of balance. And so when the water element is out of balance and we are feeling that fear and anxiety, we come to our fear points just below the collarbones. We can tap, we can drum, we can open palm. And we acknowledge that fear, we acknowledge that anxiety, and we love ourselves deeply and completely. And so putting this together, we go fire and earth and metal and water, and then into wood. The wood element within us is linked to our liver, and our liver detoxifies and allows us to release anything that is toxic or poisonous to the body. And so by tapping that liver, we aid with physical release, we aid with mental and emotional release, because the energetic liver does the same job. We can even tap on this side as well. And so we tap just below that lowest rib, and we breathe. We can even shake. And those are the 5 elements. So let's tap through them together. Switch, fire, rib cage, earth, matchsticks, metal, collarbones, water, liver, or ribs, lower ribs, and that is your wood. Even though it's not emotional freedom technique, we can use it in the same way. Anytime we're feeling that emotional and mental upregulation, we can breathe, bring our awareness here, state what we're experiencing. Even though I am experiencing blank, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. And then we can tap through our points. You can do it while you're saying your phrase. You can do it silently. You can do it while you are reminding yourselves of things that have pissed you off or have you feeling insecure or whatever. Enjoy these points. They're COVID friendly because you're not touching your face. And drop a note in the comments. Let me know how this worked out for you, and have an amazing day.